And here she is. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's so nice to see you. We've made it.
We made it. You did it. You did really, really well. You know, I was just wittering on. Honestly, people were just thinking, "What's this guy talking about? He's just talking for the sake of talking." And that's what he's doing. He's got nothing to say. Everyone joining us thinking, "What's this guy on about?" No idea.
I've never done like a joint live, and I was actually on the live page, but then on my phone waiting for you to ask for my request, but nothing came. So then I
It's weird.
at my iPad,
yeah.
And it was flashing there. I don't know, you didn't want my. Sorry about that.
Don't worry. Literally, I've never done a live yet where it's gone according to plan. Never. It's not once actually. No, it's just a thing with live, I reckon. But anyway, it's good to talk to you.
Yeah, it's lovely to be here. Brilliant. I love your blog. So it's
thank you.
It's really nice. It's just like really inspiring. I'm always watching your YouTube video and reading, and the IGTV. I think it's brilliant.
Oh, bless your soul, Gabi. You can come on more often. I tell you, it's definitely just keep the praise coming. That's all we need. Keep it coming.
Yeah, no, it's just like lovely. I mean, it's just like, especially at the moment, when we're at home, it's just such much. It's great to have that to watch and to get inspiration, see what other artists are doing, and you cover brilliant people. To be honest, when I thought you would be so busy with all like the big murals and all that you wouldn't have time for me. So I thought, so it's brilliant to be here.
Oh no, well, I think you know what I think the one thing, Gabi, I like about your work, and I think I like about generally people in your genre, is the fact that you get yourself out there. You don't miss about. You get yourself out. You get up, and you post your work around for everyone to see. And I love that. I love the fact that you've chosen to take over the streets, if you like. And there's a lot of paste up artists that generally do that work on the street. I know you do more than paste up. I know you do stencil. I know you do the whole caboodle. But when I think of Mini Gabi, I think of the paste ups that are in the the regular spots and I just love seeing them. It's great to see them.
Well, I have to put them out there because I mean, Mini Gabi is all about spreading the messages and inspiring confidence, and I'm really into that mixture of cartoons, graffiti art, but also a bit of self-development or inspiration. And I have to kind of walk the talk, so I can't have her just putting all the bravery out there and then not do it myself, because you'll be I remember once I was talking to a friend and I was like, oh, I'm not sure if I should do that, or if it's gonna work. And my friend said, you should listen to your Mini Gabi. She wouldn't be really impressed with you. So I have to get out there and do it, and I love it. So I created this character after having like a brain injury. And I used to be in the music business, but I used to be a singer-songwriter, and I was just about to work with a new label in Berlin and do concerts and things like that. And I had a brain injury and I had to cancel everything.
Oh, gosh.
And, I kind of created Mini Gabi when I started to get a bit better, in a way to front, so I thought, well, while I'm at home, she can go and and do the tours on my behalf, and she can do the the promotion and the videos. And that's how it came to kind of go out there on my behalf. But I enjoyed it so much, and although when I was in music I was being part of the direction of my videos and drawing my covers and posters, when I kind of, I don't like to say things happen for a reason, because I don't know, I'm a bit agnostic, does it or does it not? But it kind of, although I was really passionate about the music, when I started doing this Mini Gabi to be just to step in for a period of time while I was recovering. When I recovered, I kind of was so enjoying that I didn't want to go back to music full time. And I was a bit worried that if it is true, that things happen for a reason, the universe might bang my head again. So I thought,
oh, right. What a big life change that was there. I mean, you know, because I mean, I've seen you can see some of your music videos online. They're great. I mean, they're proper, you know,
Yeah.
techno. I'm not a musician. Forgive me if I'm getting the terminology, but they're great. They're banging tunes. So I say that's what the kids say. They say banging tunes. So I reckon.
Thank you. I mean, it's just like, I wish I had time to do both, but at the moment, it's just like the art is my full-time life at the moment.
Mm.
I also grew up with kind of that gorillas kind of,
Mm.
and I really liked that. And I still have the hope to one day join the music and the art and have, you know, Mini Gabi on videos, not necessarily, maybe not my music this time, maybe partnering with other people. But now I'm just kind of focusing on, you know, one thing at a time. And that has been with the paste ups and the, yeah, and the street art and also the stuff that I do in the studio. There's more like canvases and things like that. And but the story, the important thing is that is the story around her. Is that I have this character that in my head she found this magic pen that she wants to go around the world spreading messages. Actually, she doesn't want to. She realizes that the pen only writes messages of inspiration and positivity. It's not her, it's the magic pen, but eventually the pen stops working, and the pen only if she shares the messages with people. Otherwise it doesn't work. So that's why she's in the world writing these little messages and, you know, putting little quotes that sometimes are funny, sometimes, you know, sometimes are inspiring. Some are my quotes, some are quotes by, you know, other people that inspire me. And I just loved it to kind of explore this idea and yeah, so see where it goes. And I just love the aesthetics of street art. I love the mixture of that cartoonish style with the graffiti, even, you know, with the tagging, with the, you know, with the paintings around. I mean, I lived in Berlin for a while, and I that organic stuff, it really inspires me. I just find it very free. And, you know, to put a little character around the other things, they saying something.
Yeah.
And yes, it's really fun. And London, it's brilliant for that.
Well, some great spots in London, isn't there? I mean, you know, London and Berlin, lots of similarities when it comes to the, you know, the art scene and the communities that you have and you are part of there, particularly when it comes to, you know, getting your art up there. Do you remember, I would like to ask you, because, do you remember the first time you put Mini Gabi out into the world, when you first decided to do that and you first went to a wall and you first pasted her up? Do you remember that? Yeah, on the street, yeah.
I mean, on the street. So the first time she was a sticker, and it started in Berlin. And because like it went from me having this, you know, concussion, recovering, and, you know, and then when I was better, I started to collaborate with this brand in Berlin. They sell like urban tops and urban hoodies and things, and they wanted like the Mini Gabi modeled for them, and you know, wearing one of their hoodies. So I drew Mini Gabi wearing their hoodies, and I really loved the ethos of this brand, because they called I'm Okay. I hope they're watching. And they, you know, and I thought was just like, it was such a nice idea. And they used to stick everywhere, their stickers. And then suddenly I was part of the gang, and I kind of got involved with like going around the streets of Berlin, putting the stickers. And, you know, it just felt like, you know, it's such a different life to being on stage and playing music. But at the same time, it kind of took me back to the beginnings of my music, when I used to busk and be a street artist in that sense, you know, because I started my music in the streets, but I had already left. So it took me back, and you just see the streets in a different way. And after this collaboration, I had some other drawings, and I thought, I'm gonna go and do this solo. So while I was in Berlin, I was just liking the sticker culture, you know, street sticker culture. And it was only when I came back to London that I got into the paste ups, because I wanted to go bigger, and I wanted to also it had to be more freedom with sizes and types of papers and things like that. And then I just started meeting people. I was living in Bethnal Green, and I started meeting people in art kind of events and talking to them. And before I noticed, I was out, you know, with a folder full of cutouts, putting them out there. And and then the sticker was kind of like parallel to this, but then I got more into the paste up, and then I also started doing the painting as well. Started doing stenciling and also freehand with mini Gabi, and it's just so much fun. But yeah, it's a lovely memory. It came from the sticker world. Berlin is lovely for stickers. I think I think they've got stickers than any other city I've seen. It's just insane, the amount of stickers that you see there. And all together, I just loved it. It was brilliant. And
so recently,
she's a paste up.
yeah, well, I mean that's cool. I think, you know, there's still a good sticker scene in London, isn't there? But I think probably, yeah, paste ups, particularly around the East End, you know, that's where I think a lot of people put their attention, don't they? I think more than stickers at the moment.
I mean, it's like I think it's something that it never. I grew up between São Paulo and Rio. In São Paulo, I mean, I grew up with was genius, and because I'm originally from Brazil, and although everyone watching this probably think that I'm originally from Sweden or something like that, but yeah, and I grew up with like a lot of character art around me, because São Paulo has a lot of that kind of art, graffiti days, you know, around characters and everything like that. And you know, and I come from a family of artists, so I always drew and done paintings. I just didn't take this as my full-time thing when, you know, because I went into music. But when I kind of, I don't know, when I got back to art through my concussion and doing the stickers and then drawing again, the whole idea of paste up was something totally new for me. Although I had, you know, explored other things in art, even as you know, when I was a kid, a sticker was something that was the paste up. I mean, it was something that I kind of like. Yeah, I just hadn't, it was so new, and I really liked this idea of having the same image and making it repetitive. I quite like this idea of just being able to mark the streets with one same or a few with a collection, and make it repetitive, but you know, have a little change, a minor change in color or something, one of them, things like that.
Well, it becomes recognizable, doesn't it?
So,
It could become.
I also...
I was just saying, it becomes recognizable when you do that. When you keep putting your work out there, you keep changing things.
I love that, and I think that another thing I love about the medium of the paste up is that you can take, you know, other forms of art into the streets. So you can combine. There's a lot of like, I mean, I work really mixed media, but with a lot of these mini Gabi paste ups, they might be a drawing. I really like drawing on paper, but I also like coloring with my tablet. So, and I also like to mix digital collage with analog collage. So a lot of things went into this creation of this piece that I can then take to the streets, but it would be harder to create on the streets because with, you know, at least with the digital elements you couldn't bring. And I think that's really cool. And then you can mix the analog element with the digital element and then there is the whole street weather and everything else that becomes part of it. And yeah, that's one thing I love about them. I mean, it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of like taking something that comes from a completely different world and putting it out there on the streets. I like that. But I do like, you know, painting walls as well and painting canvases. But yeah, it's nice.
One of the things that you've done with your mini Gabbies recently, obviously we're, you know, locked down, all this malarkey going on. You've done mini Gabi as a nurse, mini Gabi as a doctor, mini Gabi as, you know, you've been doing a lot of that sort of work around. Can you tell me about that work you've been doing?
Sure, yeah. So during lockdown, you know, it's I mean, because the last year I was very busy doing doing many things at the same time, and when lockdown came and I had to stay at home, it forced me to go back to the roots of my work, which is the drawing. Everything comes from the drawing, and then from that, once I'm drawing that I'm happy with, I can then grow it into other mediums, into paintings with different types of mediums, collage and things like that. But the drawing is really is the basic of everything of my work. And I wasn't drawing enough last year because I was just busy doing street art, doing painting, going to the studio and just starting a painting and, you know, directly drawing there, and, you know, not kind of focusing on the details of the drawing. So during this lockdown, every day I started to do like one drawing. It was like a drawing a day. I got myself this challenge. I just want to, you know, have this library of, and then new characters came around, and that's how the mini nurse came, because obviously with everything that was going on, that was really also natural to do this other character. And yeah, and that's what I stayed most of the time during lockdown, just kind of not worried about, well, because I have a studio, I'm in North Kent, but I have a studio in London. I was scared of getting the train, and it was quite a harsh, you know, heavy lockdown, and people didn't know yet, you know, can I catch this from somebody sitting on the other side of the train? I was, yeah, so I stayed at home doing this drawing. The mini Gabi just kind of was born in many new poses that then will come for my next collection. And then came the mini nurse, which was something that, yeah, you know, there was a lot of art happening that was inspired by the whole crisis. And I mean, there was this brilliant art out there, and a lot of people were doing things with masks on and things like that. And I was just thinking, like, I just want to do a little nurse to put on my window, to put a sign saying thank you NHS. And that's how I did, and I put it on the window. And whether it's mini Gabi or mini nurse, or is a mini Gabi become mini nurse, I mean, it doesn't matter. But it's a mini Gabi in a nurse kind of like outfit. And it was just to put on my window. I put it on my window, and I had the text next to it, and thank you NHS. And, you know, because I was also doing the clapping on my window. And then I posted on Instagram, and some people said, oh, that's really cute. Can I have one put on my window too? And then I sent to them, and it's just, and that came the mini Gabi nurse. And then a few like weeks later, there was like a fire kind of alarm going on in my building. I had to call the fire brigade. Anyway, long story short, I created a mini fire girl, and I thought I'm gonna just start doing like little keyword characters to thank them. And you know, that's kind of what I was really busy with. And I mean, it was in a way quite nice to just have time and space, because everything was happening so fast last year. I think now, because it's, you know, it's been it's been a while now. It doesn't feel like that. But when the lockdown first came, it was like, okay, I'm scared, but you know, everyone is scared. I just have to get on with it and do something positive. I grew up in a very dangerous, violent country, and you know, you just I was always taught, and because I come from the dangerous environment, it's just like, it's the way it is, just get on with it, and you know, don't sit worrying about it. And that's what I did, and I just kind of like have this collection of drawings, and it really helped me to develop the characters and the style for my next paintings, because then I can like take this to the next step, as it were. Yeah, and then when the lockdown, I mean, with the collab, I started doing, then I did the collaboration with the 7606, which was like absolutely insane. I thought it was brilliant because he's such an incredible artist. And we were talking about something last year, but you know, life got in the way. He was busy, I was busy, so on. And then when things started to improve, I said to him, I have this mini nurse character. How about we collaborate with that? We put her in one of your booths or something like that. And he's like, brilliant, that's perfect. And then we started exchanging, you know, Instagram, emails, and sending work and collaborating like that. And then the mini Gabi nurse in the phone booth was born. You know, in the pair, a gray and a blue, and with hair changing. And it was just, you know, and it was just so nice to be doing that collaboration with someone that you really look up to. You know, the first time I saw him was in Berlin, actually, when I was living in Berlin doing my stickers. And so I came to London and I saw his stuff. It gave me a little, you know, memory of my early days of sticking in Berlin. And yeah, so that was really nice. And because last year we were talking about, you know, it's sure sometimes things kind of are not yet ready. We're talking about doing it, doing a collaboration, but I was thinking, which mini Gabi shall I send? The one with the balloon, the one with the hat? Shall I do one that is taller? You know, I didn't have it clear in my mind, but with the mini nurse, I saw it really clear that she would be inside this blue phone booth, and I just thought, I hope he kind of sees the same. I'm gonna pitch the idea to him, and he's like, oh no, it's a brilliant idea. And then yeah, and then we got it already, and it started to pop up around London and other parts of the country, which is lovely. And that is actually when I was great. Doing the street art. Yeah, thank you. And you know, when you're doing street art, people stop and people talk to you and people watch. I think with this mini nurse, because of the, you know, because of everything that is going on, it was every time I was out, you know, people like stop to watch and compliment, and you know, the only criticism I had was someone saying, it's too small, it has to be much bigger than that. Oh. It has to be big. Someone.
You know, so, you could.
Really nice to.
I was just going to say that. So you could continue your collaboration with D7606, and because he does those massive. For anyone that doesn't know, D7606, he's a fellow paste-up artist, and he's known for his phone boxes, and he puts people in these phone boxes. He's done quite a few collaborations over the years, but he's also done these massive phone boxes, hasn't he? Massive. I think he might be watching, actually. So, like, I think that's the next step, isn't it? Just do a massive paste-up, massive phone box with the mini Gabi nurse in. I think that's the next stage, I reckon.
Yeah. I think so, because I mean, it's like, you know, especially with when you know, with something like Thank You the NHS, I felt like in the beginning everyone was clapping, everyone doing all these things, but as the crisis developed, everyone starts to go back about their business and forget that they're still working really hard out there, and it's not finished. So I think it's you know, would be a good thing to do next year and to continue saying thanks.
Well,
And,
well, I've just got a thumbs up from him. Just got a thumbs up from him. I've heard back. He's watching. Last time I saw D7606, last time I saw him, he was in Rochdale. Rochdale, it was in the north of England. Yeah.
Yeah, I've
so
seen his thumbs. Yeah, I think England. I mean, I only met him like anonymously, really, because
the mystery.
Well, we speak via internet and everything. And I think yesterday I just sent him a text because he said to me, I'm going to be watching your Insta live. And I said, oh, that's really weird because I don't, you know what I look like and sound like. And I have no idea what you look like. I don't know if
well, he's a mysterious guy. So he is. He sort of goes around the world posting art and just like he comes in like a ghost in the night, creates lots of sort of paste-ups and art, and then suddenly you walk. He's like Invader. He's like a British invader.
Yeah,
that's what he is.
But then you can always you can just think of the art. You don't have to kind of like imagine the person. You just see the art. But it's like, yeah, that's really cool. And he claims that he said hi to me in the Croydon festival. But I mean, I don't really know because a lot of people said hi. So he was very good at saying hi, and he's anonymous. Yeah.
I think that's the good thing, isn't it? Because I mean, a few people. he's got a few people. Hello, Laura. She just joined. We did an Instagram with Laura Benetton a couple of weeks ago. She's just joined as well. I'm just going to say, going back to the point about you. Oh, so you're breaking up a little bit breaking up.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. It's just reception. What it is. She says hello. So I was going to ask you about the sort of the arts community then. So you mentioned that you the Croydon Festival, for example, and the 7606 might have said hello for you, but you've obviously come to London, and earlier in the conversation you were telling us about how you were introducing your art to the city from Berlin and things like that. But it must have been a big move to come to London in the first place and then try to become part of an artistic community and get your art out there. How did you find that? How was that experience for you, becoming part of the London art scene?
Right, okay. So let me back up a little bit. I actually lived in London before I went to Berlin. Oh. I went to England by mistake when I was 16.
Huh? Okay, this is an interesting story.
Yes, I was sent to England by mistake. I mean, my parents had booked me to go and study in Cambridge, America, to learn English and then study. Through an agency, the agency got the Cambridges mixed up and sent me to England. So we only realized a month before I was due to travel. And then, of course, you couldn't change the paperwork, the accommodation, the visas and everything. So I was sent to England and I was 16 and then I didn't know. I mean, like I had been like dreaming of going to America. I mean, I am American and I just wanted to go to North America. And so I was suddenly told that I was going to go to this country that, obviously I knew what England was, but I hadn't been like spending the time reading and learning about Cambridge and all the details and the culture. So when I turned up here, I was like, what's happening in my life? Everything was set up for America, and the school said to me, after 6 months we'll transfer her, because it was a year program, we'll transfer her to America, but she has to stay in England. So I was sent to Cambridge. That was when I first lived in England. I lived with an English family for the first 6 months. And Stuart, I loved it. And then they transferred me to America. I was like, no, send me back to England. I don't want to be here.
Oh, wow.
Because I was 16 also, it's such a brilliant country to be if you are 16. In America, they were like putting balloons. I couldn't drink, I couldn't do anything. And here you're just like, I'm in tea. Okay, you know, here's your, here's your beer. So then from Cambridge, it was just like, so like so I went to America, but I ended up coming back to England. And then I got involved with the music scene and then moved to London. So London has been the place, I've been quite nomadic, but has been the place I lived for the most years of my life. So I lived in London many years doing music, being a session musician, then I went solo. And then I kind of like had a period, I started traveling and working with people in other countries. And that's how I ended up in Berlin. So when I came back, and then going back to your original question, when I came back to London, it didn't feel like, oh, this is a completely new place. I had friends here. I mean, a lot of my friends were in the music world. And but the music world and the art world, they're really connected. And it wasn't like I was going from a completely different world to another. So I just reconnected with my friends, and then from these music friends I met other artists and I started making new friends. Although I was returning with a new project, which was Mini Gabi, London was already very familiar. I had lived here for many years before. So so then when I came back and I moved to Bethnal Green, I used to meet people like, in markets, and you start talking to people. And then I used to also go to Leek Street. They had those nice jams and festivals, and I would get talking to street artists there. I just start watching them painting and talking to them, and then they say, oh, there is this event. And then before I noticed, I was in a poster group with Uberfoods and in a lot of other people, and it was really, and things just developed. And so the community was very welcoming, and it wasn't like I had to, it's true, I was like in the music world, which was very competitive. So either I'm really thick-skinned or it was very friendly. I don't know, maybe a bit of both. I don't know. It's just I pretty much met everyone in the first 6 months I was back to London. It was just one from meeting one person, they introduced me to another person. I would go to the nomadic garden and sit and have a coffee at Rovin Cafe and start talking to people. And then suddenly I'm talking to Alo, I'm talking to Mark, I'm talking to all these cool artists, and then they organizing to get together, and they were inviting, and I started like that. And you start to kind of, I think it's just you just have to talk to people. If you're not scared of talking to people, especially in the street world, it's kind of people, a lot of the time people are painting on their own and they quite like it, because I've been on both sides. So it's quite nice when people start talking to you and kind of like breaks that kind of, I don't know, I'm totally quiet in my corner now. So it's, if you can talk to people and you're not scared of just, share whatever you have to say and listening to whatever they have to say, then it's nice. And of course, then you end up making friends with some people more than others. That's normal. And then you, and then you like, how I met you at the BSMT gallery, and it was through, that's right, it was in Rise in the Croydon Festival. I met also Shorty Shooter, which introduced me to you. And so you start doing things, people talk to you, and when you're not doing things, you go and talk to them. It's kind of an exchange. I like to
It's how it works, isn't it? It's how things go around. You know, if you're willing to put yourself out there, if you're willing to, you know, communicate and be open to meeting people, and then that's the ideal thing. Lots of agreements, by the way, in terms of some what you were saying about, you know, being welcomed into, you know, London and stuff on the chat. And Horse's Milk says hi from Devon. There's a few people saying hello. So that's
my first Insta live. I don't with like a, you know, with a host. I mean, I only done videos by myself, short ones, and
yes,
yeah, and then other things. So I'm not like following all the comments, but say hello, everyone.
yeah, hello. So I mean, we'll finish it soon, but I just want to know what. Yes, you're going to keep track of them. Oh God, I'm banging the table and my camera's going on. I just wanted to finish off with your current work and what you're doing currently. So you've got a series out at the moment, which you're doing. What are the plans for that series? And are you going to be getting back onto the streets of London anytime soon?
Yes, so during, you know, because of the crisis and everything, I worked on a series of little small works, and with the idea of selling directly online. I had plans of doing art fairs and, you know, events and pop-ups this year. Everything got cancelled, la-di-da. So I decided to kind of like, I mean, selling online was never really my thing, but I thought I'll use this as an opportunity. I might as well, you know, see this as an opportunity to kind of improve my online store and get, you know, get that kind of thing going. So I worked on a small series, and I like just like little paste ups that were seen on the streets on little wooden panels. And I would have never worked this small if it wasn't, but I was thinking, what could I do that I could easily and safely, you know, ship, and it was affordable, but at the same time had the same kind of paste up that people see on the streets, because that's where, yeah, that's where my audience is, right? And I didn't want to just do something in the studio that was completely disconnected to the street. I still wanted to keep it that way. So yeah, so I worked in this series, which is like called Spread the Words, which is of the paste ups of Mini Gabi and her little quotes in this tiny. I have one here. It's funny. Wow.
Oh yeah, let's see.
This little baby.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Yeah, this little baby's here.
Here we are.
So this is one of the, yeah.
And what's the quote? What is she saying?
Can you see?
Yeah, there's just a bit of a light shining on it.
Just
can't read out the text.
Ah, really?
Yeah, it's just a text.
Shall I turn it off, the light?
Oh, no, it's there we go. Right. Well, it looks great. I still can't read it. Still can't read it. Yeah.
Oh, Stuart, you need glasses.
I do need glasses. Yeah. No, honestly, it's not working for me.
Okay.
Just go for it. There we go. Just go for it. Yeah, very.
And you know, this one was actually inspired by my days playing and you know, being a music street artist in that sense, and yeah, so it was inspired by that. And yeah, and the top hat, I really like that mixture of you know, that kind of slightly cabaret style as well, and the tie.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know where that came from, because the character has a very big Japanese influence. I'm sure, like, you know, you can tell, like, because I grew up in São Paulo, which has one of the biggest Japanese colonies in the world outside Japan. So, and you know, and also big graffiti and street art scene, as you know. But the top hat and the cabaret thing, maybe is a Berlin influence.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I've been working on that, and yeah, so I released that on my website a few weeks ago, and sold a few left. If anyone wants, God, I'm not very good at
Bargains.
sales. And also, as well as the original paste ups in the wood panels, I am also doing prints, which is the same collection. And yeah, and you know, I actually was very skeptical about people that never seen like the work and touched the work, because coming from doing events where people come and see, and you know, and actually see something hanging or can see something, you know, that you show them. It's just I was skeptical, but you know, people were buying, and it's really nice. And so I just
It's great.
have this. It's quite nice to feel that you can have this independence as well, you know, of like being able to do it. I mean, it's still nice to kind of partner with galleries, events and fairs and whatever, but it's nice to feel that you are independent. I think it gave me that. So that's what I've been doing. And then I'm also doing a private mural, which is in a co-working space I go to, and that's also one of the images from the collection, but it's going to be, it's not a paste up, it's painted, and so that's really nice. And then I hope before the end of the year I still go back to Shoreditch, and so hopefully a few more pop up. And then next year I want to kind of start a similar collection to that, but slightly bigger. And bringing new paste ups, new images from the drawings that I done, but I have to color them. So I'll probably, you know, I'll probably take a few months just to kind of explore mediums and, you know, and work in the studio for a few months. And then hopefully things normalize, you know, soon, so we can plan the second half of the year at least for events and other things. So I'm quite fully booked, really.
Great.
Pretty,
no, that's good. That's good. Yeah. So Gabi, I mean, fascinating. I'm just going to say, you know, you're breaking up a little bit on the test. So I think we'll leave it there. But it's been fascinating. It's been fascinating to talk to you. To learn a bit more about your work. I think we're going to meet up anyway, aren't we? We're gonna have a look at that mural you were talking about, maybe in the new year or what have you. But for now, I think thanks to everyone for joining. We've had quite a few people joining, coming and going throughout the day. A lot of people saying hello and whatnot. So yeah, we'll leave it there, and then we'll speak later. So thank you for joining us, Gabi.